What's up everybody, it's Drew Wilkins with Swine and Bovine Barbecue, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to make some absolutely delicious direct heat Alabama white sauce chicken. Let's get going. Have ourselves a beautiful all natural half chicken. Had cut this up earlier, used the other half for some fried chicken. If you want to see how I made that, check out my Instagram. That wasn't an actual YouTube video, but it was delicious. For this one was already cryovac, so I froze it, thawed it to do this video. So the trimming is done, nothing to do here. And we're gonna start this out like I do pretty much all of my half chicken or other large meat videos, and season it well in advance. So we're not going for a full day in advance like we have in the past, mostly due to poor planning on my part. So we're seasoning this the morning that we're gonna cook it. Just going on with some good old Diamond Crystal kosher salt. As I always say, if you're using Morton's, it's more dense, it's heavier, the granulars are heavier, so go on lighter. If you're using table salt, go on even lighter with that. But the purpose of this is to dry out the surface and also get the meat fully seasoned throughout. This half chicken is sufficiently seasoned. We're gonna throw it in the fridge till we're ready to cook it, probably 8-9 hours. Pit is fired up, our chicken is looking great. You can see the skin is dried out a fair amount. We've got salt penetration through the meat now, so let's go ahead and season it up with our other seasonings. Start off by just using a little bit of olive oil spray on it, then some coarse black pepper, some granulated garlic, flip it over and repeat. This bird is seasoned, pit's fired up, so let's go put it on. Our pit is rocking around 325, which is exactly where we want it. So we're gonna put this chicken right on the grate. We're gonna shut this down, let it go for 30-ish minutes, see what the color looks like on the bottom side. If it needs longer, we'll let it go. If it's ready, we'll flip it. But for now, closing it down, time to cook. 30 minutes later, and we're gonna go ahead and flip our chicken. We're running a little hotter than 325, what I said earlier. We're about 375. I'm not upset about it though. Quicker we can get some good color on this chicken, and that's looking pretty solid right there. Would ideally want a tiny bit more, but we're gonna flip this back over when we start mopping it, so I'm not too worried about it. We're gonna go skin side down now, let it continue to cook. Come back in 20-ish minutes, we'll start monitoring it then. Once we have the color, or getting close to the color we like on the skin side, we'll mop a little bit on the bottom of this chicken here, flip it and start mopping the top. But for now, let's go make a mop sauce. To kick off our Alabama white sauce, we're gonna go in with some mayo, some apple cider vinegar, juice of half a lemon, a little bit of Worcestershire, some cayenne pepper, some coarse black pepper, some light brown sugar, some prepared horseradish, and last but not least, some kosher salt. Now just give it a whisk. All right, let's see how we did. Oh, that is absolutely delicious. I put more vinegar in it than I would a traditional Alabama white sauce because we're gonna be mopping this on the chicken. We're not gonna be dipping it into it like you would traditionally for an Alabama white sauce chicken. So we're switching it up a little bit. I want it to be thinner due to us using it as a mop sauce, and it tastes absolutely delicious. It's sweet from the brown sugar, acidic from the vinegar, creamy and nice from the mayonnaise. You get a little bit of the Worcestershire, a little bit of heat from the cayenne. Really good mop sauce. So let's go see how our chicken's doing. Our chicken is looking good on the underside, so we're gonna hit this with a light mop. Not so light, but a mop nonetheless. So we're gonna shut this down for just a little bit, let it cook on, then we'll be back to flip the chicken. Our chicken is looking fantastic. Mop sauce is cooked on a bit, so let's go ahead and flip it. Just like the bottom, gonna mop it on the top. Gonna shut this down. We'll mop it one more time here in a couple of minutes, then we'll pull the chicken, because this chicken is actually fully cooked right now. So that's a good thing. We'll be able to use this mop sauce again without worrying about having any bacteria from undercooked chicken in it. But this chicken's cooked. We're gonna let this mop sauce cook on for just a little bit. Temping the chud box is down to about 300 now, so I'm not too worried about overcooking it. But Gonna let this sit on for a bit, mop it one more time, then we'll be ready to pull it and eat. 7 minutes and 1 mop later, our Alabama white sauce direct heat chicken is done. Let's pull it off and let it rest. Our chicken is done. It smells fantastic. I was a little worried how it might smell with putting some mayonnaise over direct heat, or a mayonnaise-based sauce that is. Smells unreal. Gonna let this cool down to about 140-ish, then we'll cut in. But I'm pretty excited by the way this one's smelling and by the way it's looking. Our chicken has cooled down a little bit, not as much as I would like, but per usual, like I think happened in the last chicken video, took me a little longer than expected to get things fired up, especially when you're videoing. Adds a little time, so I'm gonna cut into it a little warm so we don't have to eat super late and the sun goes down. But separating this is super easy. As I've mentioned before, I love the leg and thigh. My wife loves the breast. So we just separate it right through here. Easy does it. Nice and juicy. And then we're gonna dig into this bad boy right now. The work is done and we have some delicious, probably a little hotter than we would like it, chicken to dig into right now. So it is Alabama white sauce chicken. And as I said, when I started mopping this, it was at internal temp where it was safe. So I'm not using contaminated mop sauce here, but to make it full on Alabama chicken, let's go ahead and hit it with some mop. Cheers. Just gonna go in for a big old bite right off this thigh right here. Had to pause there for a little bit, have the wife get me a paper towel. This is absolutely incredible. I must say I had a little bit of concern about mopping some chicken that had a predominantly mayonnaise-based mop sauce. Yeah, I serve mayonnaise warm in a lot of things, but putting it directly over coals and having it drip down, it's one of the reasons I use more apple cider vinegar than you do in a traditional Alabama white sauce. But was a little concerned about it, but those concerns were unfounded. This is really good. The chicken smelled incredible as it was with just the dry salt brine, the black pepper, and the granulated garlic. Would have tasted fantastic as is, but this mop sauce, I just love the tang that you get with mop sauce. And you can do it on an offset smoker, but having it drip down on the coals, the fat from the meat drip down on the coals, just a flavor combination that provides, plus the crust that you can get, almost like a grilled flavor, right, on this chicken, is absolutely incredible. It can't be replicated any other way other than grilling it. But then if you try and grill a chicken directly over the coals for this long, where the fat's actually dripping on it, I'm not talking about searing each side and moving it in direct, because then there's no coals to produce the direct heat smoke that I love, then there's just no way to replicate this other than a direct heat cooker. And I've mentioned several times, you know, try Weber Smoky Mountain or pit barrels or other things if you want to try this as well. But Chud's selling these again, and I can't recommend getting them enough. They're well worth the investment. Direct heat barbecue, if you haven't tried it, it's incredible. As I said in my last video, I'm gonna beat the hell out of that drum until I see more people cooking it. So yeah, don't be worried about adding mayonnaise to a mop sauce. You might even be able to get away with making it a traditional thicker white sauce, but this thinned out, tangy, vinegary, lemony, horseradishy version that I made, not unsimilar to every other Alabama white sauce recipe out there, just more vinegar, I absolutely love. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit that subscribe button. If you cook anything I make on the channel, feel free to tag me on Instagram. My handle is @SwineandBovineBBQ. And if there's anything out there that you want to see me cook next, leave it in the comments below. But as always, thank you for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.